all of us have experienced a budget cut in some way. Whether you budget your own financial situation to save up and purchase something that you want, like a car or even a house. Or possibly the new budget cuts at USD could be your first time experiencing some sort of budgeting or budget cuts. I don't believe that budget cutting solves issues in the university level because for these three reasons. It affects in-state students, it affects out-of-state students, and it affects the community and the university as a whole. My first reason, it affects the out-of-state students. As said by David S. Hopkins and William F. Massey in a model for planning the transition to equilibrium of a university budget, students' income is not a variable taken into consideration during the budgeting process. Budget cuts may not, like, I pay for all of my my loans or everything by myself. My mom and dad are not there to help me out. So my income, which is very low, is not taken into consideration. So many people, it may not affect all people the same way. Some people may be able and have that extra help, but I don't personally, and I cannot afford to have other people putting more and more stress on me financially. So being an out-of-state student myself, I'm already finding it difficult to find the money to pay my tuition and living expenses as it is already. And now the budget cuts will make that more and more difficult for me next year, and as long as they continue to cut costs for the budgets. So that's why budget cuts affect out-of-state students. For my second reason, budget cutting affects in-state students. In-state students and their families also feel the effects of budget cuts in a negative way by putting a negative feel into the community and university, by shifting the public mood as stated by Karen D. Hughes, Graham S. Lowe, and Allison S. McKinnon in their study of attitudes towards budget cutting. So shifting the mood in the community I have friends who are now going to have to make a longer commute as in-state students because they cannot afford to live on campus anymore. They have to now live with their parents, which then gives up the college experience that most students go to school for anyway, and they also give up their independence because now they're under mom and dad's roof again. So that is my second reason as to why budget cutting affects in-state students as well. Budget cutting, for my third reason, affects the campus as a whole because us as students, especially here at USD, will start seeing less and less campus-funded events such as concerts or school-sanctioned events such as plays and whatnot. The rise of the $3 events that you go to now will then possibly double, and that'll be $6. $6 on a weekly basis for me, I cannot afford. I don't know about you guys, but I personally cannot afford that. So with that, with that decline of people attending those certain events, the school will have to stop putting them on because they can't afford to have that kind of decline in revenue. The school will be able to, or will not be able to give back to the community in many ways, like not being able to afford certain charity events that this school is so proud of. This school especially is so connected to their community because it takes up most of the town itself. The school will not be able to fund certain events for the community, such as concerts and whatnot. So, in conclusion, budget cutting should not take effect in the university setting because 1, it affects in-state students, 2, it affects out-of-state students, and 3, it affects the community as a whole. And I challenge all of you to go and fight for your independence and your financial situations by going to the hearing that's coming up soon and the meeting that's coming up soon and speak your piece about why budget cutting shouldn't take effect.